The year 1971. Most of you remember this year as the year when Pakistan got divided and Bangladesh was formed. But there was another rather insignificant event that happened in 1971, not far from here, in the city of Mirpur Khas, which was then the capital of the district Thar. That's where I was born in 1971. After 4 years, my family decided to move to Karachi, and little did I know at that time that after 40 years, I would come back to the place where I was born, and some of my friends told me that it is like salmons who return to the place of their birth, but they return for another reason. I hope that's not the reason why I came back to Thar. So in June 2012, the first time that I came to Thar, and the same place where we are sitting today, obviously it wasn't such a nice place at that time, it was just dunes. And as we were walking around, we came across an old man in the village of Sindh. And we started talking to that villager and told him that we're going to set up a coal mine and a power plant and export power to the rest of the country. And he says, what will happen to us? We told him, we will relocate you to a nice place, give you nice houses, to which he got a little perturbed. And overhearing that conversation was my CEO, who was a son of a soil and spoke Sindhi. So he came over, started talking to this old fellow. And would you believe that within 5 minutes of their conversation, the whole mood changed. And this old fellow said, you are one of us, and we trust you. If you're doing this project for the larger good of the country, we will do whatever you tell us. If you want us to relocate, we will relocate. And in those 5 minutes, this old man from Sindh gave us the license to operate in this area, the area which belongs to his ancestors who were living here for centuries. But there was another important thing that happened during those 5 minutes. We realized how generous the people of Thar are, how they want to help out for the larger interest by sacrificing themselves. And at that time, we decided that we are going to do the Thar project in a way that we will never neglect the people of Thar. We'll take care of their needs, and we'll make sure that they become part of this project and they benefit the part of this project. And we started calling them the real stakeholders of the Thar coal project. We did not want to create another example like Sui, where we exploited the gas reserves for 40 plus years and look at what we have created over there. This did not happen in Thar. And at that time, we thought that what is the best model to develop this project so that the benefits of this Thar coal project are passed on to the real stakeholders of this project, the Thari people. So the term which is used these days is inclusive development. But inclusive development is much more than spending 1 to 2% of your profit after tax on CSR activities. That is not enough. When we looked at the things we had to do, look at the state of affairs in the region, we knew that we could not rely on just 1 to 2% of profit, and we had to do a lot more. So the very first thing we did, before even scratching the surface, was to set up a mother and child clinic not very far from here, about 4.5 kilometers, where we hired a local medical doctor from Mitti, and we started a mother and child clinic. That was the seed that was sown about 4 years ago, which started the relationship between our company and the people around us. And the goodwill that little gesture created kept on becoming more and more. And ultimately, now it's a full-fledged clinic and running, alhamdulillah, quite well. One day, a woman came to that clinic, and she was filling her own registration form. And we were quite surprised because she knew how to read and write. We offered her a job in the same clinic, and he gladly accepted. So that was Sona Bai. She was the first Thari female employee hired by the company about 3.5 years ago. And that's how the process started. And once we got the financial close done, we decided to induct more Thari people But when we looked around, we couldn't find any skilled people. We were mandated by our sponsor that we would have at least 50% of our population, of our workforce, from Thar. So we said we must have to train the local Thari people in skills that were required at the mine and the power plant. We needed a lot of scaffolders, we needed masons, we needed steel fixers. So we collaborated with best technical institutes in the company, ran a 3-month program right here in our backyards. And during the training program, we paid stipends to these people so that the work that they could not perform while getting their trainings, at least they could run their households. That was a very successful program, and within a short span of 1 year, we were able to train 1,030 local men in these crafts, and at least 70% of those are currently working in our project right now. The other thing which we focused, because we were only focusing on 50% of the population, 50% obviously is females. So we said, what could we do about the females? Then this idea came to my boss's mind, this wild idea, that why not train them to be dump truck drivers? We have 130 dump truck drivers running 24/7, and we need 500 dump truck operators. So we developed a very exclusive program which was completely run, managed by females. We hired 2 female dump truck driver trainers, and we inducted 10 females from around Thar Block 2, and we started this training program. And just after 8 months, now we have 26 of these trained truck drivers, 30 females, who are ready to take up this challenging job 3 months from now when we start shipping coal from the mine to the power plant. So this program, we believe, is going to create a paradigm shift in the way employment is offered to females, and we hope that this program will bring prosperity to Thar and the region. But that didn't meet the target that we had, the 50% target. So then we started thinking that we needed, as I said, 500 dump truck drivers. So we started a campaign for training local Thari workforce, the men, and we selected 230 able-bodied men from Thar with almost zero education, who had no skills, and sent them to the NLC Dina Institute in near Rawalpindi. And we spent $300,000, $0.3 million on that program alone to get these people trained. And after 3 months, when they came back, we gave them 2 more months of training at site. And right now, 71% of those people are currently driving the trucks, which you see in the open pit outside. So that was the huge impetus of the people that we wanted to hire for this project. And today, I can very proudly say that 75%, or 3,303 Tharis, are currently working in this project, both at the mine and the power plant. It's a big testament to the inclusive model that we had developed, because we wanted the economic benefits of this project to flow to the Thari communities, and that we found was the best way. We chose the hard way. We could have hired these people from all over the country, but we decided to train the Thari people and then offer them jobs. Then we moved on to the managerial level jobs, and recently we started a 3rd trainee engineer program whereby we selected out of 1,200 applicants, 25 graduate trainee engineers who did their matriculation from Thar. And when we selected these 25, we were surprised to see that 21 out of these 25 students belong to the Hindu community. Thar, as you know, has a 50-50% ratio between Hindu and Muslim, almost 50-50. But when we looked at these, we realized that education is not religion specific. Anybody who works hard can clear the hurdles and become part of our organization. So judging from the success of this program, whereby in the first 6 months, we brought in institutes like IBA, Carnelian, to groom these people so that they could come up to the expectation level of the company. And instead of a 1-year program, we had a 2-year special program. And today, almost 15 of these 25 people have just been trained in China. to work as operators at the power plant, and the rest are also employed in the company. And just about 6 months ago, we hired another batch of 70 engineers from Thar and adjoining districts who've been sent to China and will be working in the power plant from January onwards. Other than this employment generation, livelihood, and technical education, we were looking to broaden our scope from outside block, because so far the interventions that we had done were mostly focused in block 2, which is 100 square kilometer, and it has a population of about 8,000 people. We wanted to do more, and we wanted to include the entire county or taluka of Islamkot in our interventions. And for that, we needed more funds, we needed more support. So we talked to our sponsors, which is Government of Sindh, and they have very gladly offered that they will, we wanted them to give the royalty that they generate or they collect from coal sales to give to a special organization which we formed called the Thar Foundation, which is specifically mandate to look after the social uplift of Thar, especially the Islamkot area. And the areas which Thar Foundation works in is education, health, livelihood, technical training, disaster management, and culture and social preservation. And the benchmark that we had set for ourselves was that the interventions that we will do will be aligned towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm sure some of you are aware of these Sustainable Development Goals. Pakistan is a signatory of the UN SDG that we will, our country, the entire country, in fact the entire world wants to comply with these SDG goals by 2030. So we had made a mission statement for ourselves that instead of 2030, in the next 5 years, by 2024, we will make Islamkot Taluka SDG compliant when we have the support from Government of Sindh. And this includes 250,000 population which lives in Islamkot. So this is our midterm vision, and we hope that we will be able to achieve this. Another thing which we are doing right now is the resettlement of the villages. And if you're coming towards our block, about 8 kilometers short, you will see a whole, almost a mini city coming up, which has 172 houses. And this is a model village which contains all the amenities. It contains 3 bedrooms, 2 washrooms, and all the other facilities required for a Thari style of livelihood. It even has a chora, which Tharis always have in their house. And these 170 people are ready to move because they have all the amenities like RO plants, school, basic health unit, roads, infrastructure, communication, and all these houses are 100% solarized. You don't need a power connection to live in one of these houses. And these people are now happy. And that old man that we met about 6 years ago is one of those people who will be moving into these houses 2 months from now. So in the end, what I would like to say is that if you're doing a business or if you're starting a new venture, if you have the community involved in that business, if you make that community a stakeholder of that business, just like we did in Thar, this is a recipe for a successful business model. And what we learned from Thar is that the people are extremely talented. All they need is a little bit of grooming, some training, and they can be as good as anybody in the country, or in fact in the world. The religious harmony, interfaith harmony that we see is exemplary. It is, I don't think I've ever seen Hindus and Muslims living in such harmony anywhere in Pakistan. And you can see when they celebrate the events, Hindus and Muslims celebrate Holi and Diwali together, and we have Eid, we celebrate them together. And now, some of the interventions which we did in schools, in the education institutions, this is what we saw. On the left, you saw a school where 60 students used to study in a village which is just 3 kilometers away. And we founded Thar Foundation schools which have 180 students and 6 classrooms, and good quality education is being available to the entire block too. And we want to now increase our footprint all around TEDxIslamkot. And inshallah, we will be able to do it. This is the chaura that people live in, and this is the house that they will get. And now, looking at the mining, the entire area is now so obsessed with it. So as you can see, these in this small video clip, if you can please run that clip, the dump trucks, which are running out there, the children are now playing with these toys, trying to create that dump truck model with their toys, and trying to be mining engineers. And why not? These will be our future mining engineers. These are the children who will, once they get educated, will take over my position and other positions that are here. So whatever the company is doing, in the end of the day, if it contributes to the if it contributes to the community, it can create a successful business model. This is what we have done in Thar, and this is what we call the inclusive development model. Thank you very much.